Hey guys, this is Tauna. Today we're going to be talking about the special guests. So these are the special guests that are going to be coming at us with the new set, Murders at Karlov Manor. They're 10 highly desirable reprints as they frame them. Basically, they're going to be reprints that are all things that people want and then kind of reshaped to kind of fit whichever plane they're on or whatever the storyline of the actual set is. So like, you know, new art and stuff like that, lots of really cool stuff. So we had them previously with Lost Caverns of Ixalan, and that had, you know, a whole lot of dinosaurs, a whole lot of vampires, merfolk, etc, etc. It also had the fancy mana crypt, but this time around most of them are kind of based around, you know, murder and clues and that kind of thing. So there's a couple in here that you should definitely be keeping an eye on. Before I get into it though, make sure you do head on over to our YouTube channel and subscribe. We go through Magic the Gathering stuff all the time, and I would love to hear, you know, your thoughts and all that on everything that we kind of cover and stuff. So the first one here we're going to look at is Ghostly Prison. This has got a few reprints lately. Specifically, it gets reprinted in, you know, the commander decks, like, you know, Keldheim, Crimson Vow. We've got Phyrexia, All Will Be One. It gets reprinted because it's a good kind of, or I would almost say a staple kind of protection thing. It's going to make people get taxed if they're attacking you and everything. It is, however, still, you know, pretty valuable. You know, like if we have a look at the full price here, we're looking at, you know, cheapest is like, oh, you're gonna sort it for me, like $3.33 US. So, you know, it's pretty decent, and, you know, some nice art of it as well. So, you know, that's the first one there. We've got Fabricate here. Search your library for an artifact, shuffle it and put it into your hand, then shuffle. So, you know, decent kind of blue artifact tutor there. A little bit on the expensive side, you know, it costs 3, but either way, you know, tutoring artifacts is good. So we had a few reprints of this with the Warhammer 40k one. Other than that, it's, you know, back with like Plane Chase, Magic 2010. It's been around for a while. Still, you know, decently priced, you know, still like around that 472 is the cheapest that we're seeing here, 460 there, but, you know, still a decent card that's going to be good in kind of any blue artifact focused deck that you want to be able to tutor out something specific there. We've got Show and Tell. This is our first kind of big reprint here. This one here is $27.44. It's the cheapest there. Each player may put an artifact, creature, enchantment, or land card from their hand onto the battlefield. So it lets everyone be able to play something for free. However, if you're playing it in a deck where you've got a lot of really big spells, like really big artifacts, really big creatures, really big enchantments or lands. Well, I wouldn't worry about lands really, but the other ones, like, you know, put a super expensive artifact, creature, and enchantment out, then boom, you're going to be able to get some really great value from this. Yes, everyone else is going to be able to get to do it as well, but, you know, at least you're going to be able to get your stuff out. I assume that there's probably something bonkers in here that I'm probably missing as to some kind of synergy with it. But either way, this looks like a really great card, and as I said, like a really decently priced kind of reprint here, and I love the art of it as well. All right, next we've got Tragic Slip. This one's a very cheap card. So this one's here's, you know, 19 cents. Not an insanely great kind of, you know, reprint, just recently reprinted in Commander Masters, and it was a common there, and now it's up to a mythic. That's very interesting. All the new ones are all mythics, if you didn't know. So give something -1/-1, give something -13/13 if something's died. So, you know, you've got some decent kind of use out of it, being able to kind of sack something with it, some decent art for it. But if this was one of the special guests that I got, I would be a little bit upset because of that price. Like, you know, you could pick up a very cheap version of it. I mean, I love the art, but yeah, I don't know. It's kind of like, you know, a very cheap kind of reprint here. All right, we've got Victimize, another kind of really cheap reprint, again, recently reprinted in Commander Masters. I've got a fair few copies of it. Uncommon in Commander Masters as well. You know, reprinted a fair few decks, as you can see here. You know, Commander Masters, Forgotten Realms, newcomer, March of the Machine, starter. So from there, you know, it's a decent card, being able to bring stuff back, in my opinion. I've got it in my Amalia deck, which is around recursion, and like, you know, like resurrecting, reanimating and stuff. But overall, you know, not a great one if you pull this either, except for the like really baller art there. We've got Tyler's Tracker. So this one here, again, a whole bunch of reprints, but, you know, still rather expensive. $2.15 is the cheapest one from Shadow Server Innistrad. However, this one at least synergizes overall with the whole set as well. Although I guess this one does as well because of the black, like the black and blue dimmer commander is based around like resurrecting things. This will go well there. Tireless Tracker, you know, green, you get to investigate every time a land drops. Every time you sacrifice a clue, put a +1/+1 on it. This is going to go into my Jenny Flint and Madame Vastra deck that I'm going to be building. However, as I said, it's a relatively cheap kind of reprint there. 258's the kind of cheapest, 193 here in this March of the Machine one. So I assume that's the March of the Machine, the one around all the different tokens and everything. But, you know, it's still not a too bad one. This is not awful, but still not great. All right, we've got Gamble here, most recently reprinted in Dominaria Remastered, $5.94. The cheapest here is $4.07, so not awful. Search your library for a card, put it into your hand, and then discard a card at random shuffling. You know, depending on what deck you're running, it couldn't be a bad thing discarding it. Like maybe you've got like a deck that's going to be able to bring it back from the graveyard or something like that. Worst case scenario, you happen to discard something you wanted, you know, you could potentially bring it back. Either way, you know, it's gambling. It's also a 1 mana tutor, so you know, even if you're not running like something that's going to be able to bring it back, you can gamble away on it and hopefully you get lucky. We got Field of the Dead, so this is the other big reprint, $21.20. Not reprinted since Core Set 2020. So this is enter the battlefield tapped, spend, get 1 colorless mana, and then whenever Field of the Dead or another land enters the battlefield under your control, if you control 7 or more lands with different names, create black zombies. So you can create some really good black zombies from this by, you know, having a whole bunch of randomly named cards and stuff like that. It's actually banned in Pioneer, Modern, Explorer, Historic. Wow, okay. Didn't realize it was banned so much. Yeah, but as I said, like, not reprinted for quite a while too. We've got Crashing Footfalls here. This one's not too bad. Modern Horizons, is that the only print of it? Yep, only print is Modern Horizons there. So, you know, $4.41, not too bad. We just got a whole bunch of like Suspend and Playing from Exile for green and everything like that. If you're running like the 10th Doctor plus any of the stuff that's to do with green, like a green assistant with him or something like that, then it could be decent there. You've got a few different options. Either way, you know, it's pay 1 and then in 4 turns you're going to be able to get it. You can also potentially cheat it out because technically the CMC is 0 for it, so there's a few different ways that you can cheat stuff out with it. And then finally, we've got Drown in the Loch. So this is a counterspell. Cheapest one here is like $1.53, Battle for Baldur's Gate, or whichever one this is, Wizard Play Network 2023. I think that's a promo for playing in the game, playing in store or something. So pretty cheap there. Not a great reprint. Counter target spell with mana value less than or equal to the number of cards in its controller's graveyard. Or, you know, this isn't too bad in like a... my friend is working on the Captain deck from Baldur's Gate. This wouldn't be too bad in that because of the fact that you're milling the other people, and because it's the controller's graveyard, so you can like mill them out and then you can use it as a really cheap removal, just a blue-black removal, or, you know, blue-black counter. Either way, you know, you got some good stuff there. But, I mean, to be fair, it's not really, you know, a great kind of reprint, because, you know, it's relatively cheap to get. So the best kind of reprints here are Field of the Dead, and then, where was the other one? Show and Tell. Both of those two are kind of our kind of best case scenarios if we're pulling one from this. We've got some other decent ones. Fabricate, we've got Ghostly Prison, Tragic Slip, not great. Victimize, not great. Tireless Tracker, borderline. Gamble, pretty good. Crashing Footfalls, as I said, pretty good. Drown in the Loch, not great. You know, there's some really great kind of reprints in here, though. I think these are going to be in the same spot as the list in the play boosters. So if you happen to pull them, you know, you can get some really cool stuff from it. So that's it for today, guys. I hope you guys had a wonderful day, and goodbye.